Welcome to Global Online Marathi. Today we are here to discuss the Maharashtra State Life Sciences Paper 2 Answer Key 2025. या पेपरमध्ये 100 क्वेश्चन्स आहेत आणि प्रत्येक क्वेश्चनला 2 मार्क्स आहेत. So totally we have 200 marks. So let us discuss with the first question. The following list describes the specific activities and goals associated with genome analysis. Indicate which one of the following cannot be described as an example of functional genomics. And the correct option is option D. That is sequencing individual BSC or PSC clones aligned in a context using shotgun approach. Question 2. What type of bacteria usually lack the genetic and metabolic mechanisms to synthesize growth factor they need for survival in the environment? And the option is option B, that is auxotroph or fastidious bacteria. Question 3. Cytoplasm consists of all the fluid part and the option is option C, that is all structures within the plasma membrane except the nucleus. Now question 4. Which of the following two statements are not true with respect to the properties of water molecules? And the option is option, and the correct option is option D, that is 2 and 4. Now question 5. The mice that are homozygous for null allele of which of the following exhibit defective spermatogenesis? And the right option is option B, that is desert hedgehog. Which one of the following species of mycobacteria is generally regarded as non-pathogenic? And the right option is Mycobacterium smegmatis. Question 7. Find out the pK value of an acid HA. The concentration of HA and A- are 0.9 molar and 0.3 molar respectively at pH 6. And the option is option D, that is 6.48. Now question 8. Allosteric enzymes will have the following property and the right option is sigmoidal kinetics. Question 9. Which of the following are the key regulatory enzymes of citric acid cycle? And the right option is option B, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase and citrate synthase. Now question 10. Which of the following mutagens is most likely to result in a single amino acid change in a gene product? And the right option is option C, that is ethyl methane sulfonate. Now question 11. Composition of constituents of the interstitial fluid where it is formed is, and the right option is option B, that is it is almost similar as that of the plasma except that the protein concentration is significantly lesser than those in the plasma. Now question 12. During accommodation for distinct vision in human eyes, the anterior surface of lens changes its curvature. Question 13. Which of the following is not likely to be dependent on adult body size? Adaptability is the thing, that is option C is the thing which is to be dependent on adult body size. Now question 14. Consider the following statements about binary vector used for plant transformation. And the right option for this 14th question is option C, that is 1, 2 and 4. Now question 15. Which of the following transcription factor phosphorylates carboxy terminal domain of RNA polymerase II? And the right option is option B, that is transcription factor 2H. Question 16. Which one of the following RNA sequence is not involved in regulation of lambda phage gene expression? And the right option is option D, that is box D. Now, anthocyanins, they are colored. They are colored what? Flavonoids. Now, question 18. Which one of the following joints is highly flexible for articulation and movements? Option C is right, that is synovial. Question 19. Which one of the following reptilian organism is found exclusively in New Zealand only? And the right option is option D, that is Tuatara. Now, which is not a gene in the Terminator gene technology construct? And the option is beta galactosidase protein, which is not there. Now, 21. The sterile nutrient medium is contaminated by 10 E. coli. How many E. coli will be present in a nutrient medium after 1 hour at room temperature? See, for this question, you need to know the generation time of E. coli, which is 20 minutes. Okay, and if you calculate 20, 20, 20, so you'll get 20, 20 means multiple of 20, like 20 will give 40, 40 will give 80. 22. State the bacterial transport system that does not need ATP molecule nor carrier protein to transport solute across the cell membrane. And the option is passive transport because rest of the things they are all active transport. Now, floral development associated agamus, pistillata and apetala 3 genes of Arabidopsis encodes proteins with which domain? The answer is MATS domain. 24. The type of divisions of cytoplasm around the periphery of cell due to presence of centrally located large amount of yolk is called as what? It is called as meroblastic cleavage. Now 25. In Drosophila, which portion of body plan is responsible for the formation of wing? So, for the formation of wing, thorax region is important. 26. Which helix has an axial hole? It is pi helix. Now 27. In visual cycle, the opsin protein of the rod cells of the retina combines with which form of vitamin A to form rhodopsin and which is responsible for vision in poor light? And the answer is option A. That is 11 cis retina. 28. Cry-do-chat syndrome is caused due to which one of the following phenomenon? And the option is option A, that is deletion of short arm of chromosome number 5. That is PR. Short arm means PR. Now 29. For a trait in a population, higher heritability is possible when? It is possible when environment is uniform. That is B. Now 30. In the majority of plants, photosynthesis is carried out in leaves, but in Kachi inhabiting desert, photosynthesis is carried out by stem. So this type of evolutionary change in the position is referred to as what? It is referred to as heterotopy. That is option C. Okay. Now 31. That is scientific theories. They arises from what? They arises from inductive reasoning. Now 32. Which of the following molecules they plays a pivotal role in presenting the paracrine factors to their target cells? And the answer is option A, that is fibronectin. Now 33. Which one of the following is not involved in SOS repair mechanism? And the answer is UMUC. 34. The suffixes used in viral taxonomy for orders, family, subfamily and genus, they are what? They are option B. That is virales, viridae, virinae and virus respectively. Now 35. That is the process by which species composition and habitat in an area changes over time until replaced by a climax community, and which is termed as option number D, that is ecological succession. Now 36. Which of the following does not describe the feature of transmission electron microscope? And the answer is option C, that is, it does not describe three-dimensional image over here. 37. Which of the following signaling molecule acting as a morphogen plays a key role in patterning the digits of vertebrate limb? And the right option is option C, that is sonic hedgehog. 38. Acetylcholine, when applied on skeletal muscle, it causes contraction, while on heart muscle, it causes muscle relaxation. And this is because of option A, that is subtypes of cholinergic receptors present in the muscle. 39. Which of the following islands visited by Darwin inspired him to propose a theory of evolution? And the option is option B, that is Galapagos Islands. 40. Which of the following pairs is a mismatch? Option D, that is epiphytes and rarely. Now 41. In which organelle DNA UGA codes for tryptophan? Option B, that is mitochondrial DNA. Now in Krebs cycle, ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, it catalyzes which of the following reactions? And the option D, that is oxidation and decarboxylation. In anoxia condition during flooding, ATPs, they are generated through what? ATPs, they are generated through fermentation as there is anoxic condition. 44. G-banding technique, it is used for what? G-banding technique is used for karyotyping in cytogenetics. 45. Near isogenic lines in plants can be developed by what? Near isogenic lines can be developed by backcross method. 46. Transition from metaphase to anaphase involves activation of anaphase promoting complex by what? It is by CDC20, that is option A. Now sets of genes located on the same chromosome, it is to be said as haplotype. 48. An organism that contains 48% of AT shall also contain 52% of GC. Now 49. Gastrulation in Drosophila begins with a change in cell shape and contraction of epithelium shape from an apical surface, and this process is called as involution. Now this question. So over here, the purification and characterization of insecticidal proteins produced by Bacillus thuringiensis during the exponential phase growth was carried out. Protein fractions were purified both from cell pellet and as well as from culture supernatant. The purified toxin proteins, they're heated at indicated temperatures and then used in bioassays against first instar larvae of black cutworm. So percent mortality of the larvae when feeded with the toxin proteins, and it were as follows. So over here we'll have to go for not true. Okay, means we'll have to choose a wrong option. And the wrong option over here is option A, that is toxin is thermolabile. Now 51. An instrument A can differentiate between 1 and 3 units, while another instrument can differentiate between 0.01 and 0.1 kilo units. So as it is written kilo units means you'll have to multiply these two like numbers with 1000, right? So that so as to it becomes equal, okay, for the sake of comparison. So of the same parameter. So which one of the following statements is correct? And the option is 1, that is instrument A is more sensitive than instrument B. 52. Which bioremediation process incorporate essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and electron acceptor to contaminated area in order to promote the activity of native microbes for degradation of hydrocarbons. And the option is, as it is to be said, native microbes. So it means you are not going for the biosparging and bioaugmentation, you are going for the biostimulation. Now 53. In a biological study, keeping all conditions similar, an experiment recorded observations from many repetition of the experiments. So none of the readings was identical, although the variations were statistically comparable. The variation in the readings, it can be because of what? It cannot be ideally minimized to zero, even if the experiments are repeated many times. Now, classically stereotaxic surgery, it is used to direct an electrode to a defined region deep into brain in vivo. 55. Insects, ammonoids and amphibians, they have originated in the in which of the following periods of Paleozoic era? It is Devonian period. Now 56. Covishield is a which kind of vaccine? It is recombinant vector vaccine. 57. The fins are locomotor organs of fishes. So the dipnoians, they possess unpaired fin without skeletal support, and such a fin is called as, it is to be called as Crossopteri. 58. Each of the following parasite is transmitted by mosquito except option A, that is Leishmania donovani. 59. Which of the following is not correct for an ideal plasmid cloning vector? And the option is, it is to be said not correct. Okay, so it should not be, there should not be absence of origin of replication. Question 60. What will be the possible RNA sequence from complete transcription of DNA molecule with the sequence in one of the strand, if the sequence in one of the strand is 5 prime, it is to be given AGCTGCAATG 3 prime. Okay, so first of all, it should be clear in our head that if they are asking us for RNA, so it should be eliminated, like wherever there is T, this can be eliminated easily. Okay, and from this we'll have to choose. So the correct option is option B. Okay, why? Because they're saying what? They're saying with a sequence in one of the strand. Okay, DNA चा हा कुठलाही एक स्ट्रँड असू शकतो. इट कॅन बी टेम्पलेट और इट कॅन बी नॉन टेम्पलेट. ओके, सो कुठलाही एक स्ट्रँड आहे हा, आणि त्याला mRNA वरती काय सिक्वेन्स आहे असा क्वेश्चन येतो. ठीक आहे, सो दिस शुड बी करेक्ट ऑप्शन. Okay, and this should not be. Why? I'll tell you. Because over here it is written GC and it is written CC. So it is not at all I would say complementary in any way. Okay, but this can be considered. Now 61. DNA is a supercoiled state, can be relaxed by an enzymatic process. So which enzyme catalyzes relaxation of supercoiled DNA? So the right option is option B, that is type 1 topoisomerase. 62. Adaptive radiation produce numerous lineages from reptiles during chordates evolution. One of the following gave rise to mammals. So the right option is option D, that is therapsids. Now, which one of the following conditions is true for parthenogenesis? So for parthenogenesis, there should be failed syngamy. 64. Which one produces highest isotope effect? It is option A, that is tritium. 65. Which of the following is critical for differentiation of bipotential gonads towards ovarian pathway? And the option is option C, that is WNT4. 66. The urge to inhale in human being results from rising level of PCO2. Which of the following is responsible for triggering formation of other enzymes? It is enterokinase. 68. Embryo of marine organism, that is, yeah, Bonelia, develop into male if it develops in close vicinity of mature female. 69. The PCR technique that allows measuring of DNA amplification at each cycle of PCR rather than the endpoint detection, which is real-time PCR, because continuously monitoring has been done over here. Now question 70. How many different amino acid sequences are possible in a polypeptide 146 amino acid long? So it should be option A, that is 20 raised to 146. Like 20 is for, there are 20 standard amino acid and we are looking forward for the 146 long sequence now. So it should be at the top. During photosynthesis, which mineral they are required in a splitting reaction? Splitting means water splitting reaction. And the right option is option D. That is manganese and chlorine. 72. Abscisic acid responsive elements, they are overrepresented in promoter of genes involved in drought stress. 73. In humans, pointed eyebrows, they are dominant over the smooth eyebrows, and downward pointed frontal hairline is again dominant over the continuous hairline. Okay? So, uh, yeah, what phenotype ratio would you expect in the offsprings from the cross between individual heterozygous for both genes? Heterozygous for both genes mean like they are having pointed, means capital P small p. Okay, for the sake of pointed eyebrows, or for the sake of it should be written home. It is saying heterozygous na. So this is pointed and one gene is of smooth eyebrows, right? Then again frontal hairline, pointed frontal hairline which is dominant to continuous hairline. So let us write frontal hairline and again continuous म्हणजे small f. So अशा प्रकारचा एक heterozygous genotype आहे and we are like crossing that with individual homozygous recessive. So homozygous recessive म्हणजे काय? Small p, small f. Okay, and if it is the condition, so there are 4 different kinds of genotype we'll get is 1:2, 1:2, 1:1. ठीक आहे. मग ते जीनोटाईप कशा प्रकारचे असतील? एक असेल कॅपिटल पी स्मॉल एफ. दुसरं असेल कॅपिटल पी कॅपिटल एफ स्मॉल एफ. ओके, सो अगेन स्मॉल पी कॅपिटल एफ स्मॉल एफ आणि स्मॉल पी स्मॉल एफ. अशा प्रकारचे 4 वेगवेगळे आपल्याला जीनोटाईप मिळतील बघायला. ठीक आहे. 74. From a human usage perspective, and as long as the rate of replenishment or recovery exceeds the rate of consumption, such resource is termed as what? So such resource is termed as renewable resource. 75. To capture the rate of various resources, ISRO developed one of the following sensors and deployed on IRA satellites. The answer is LISS. 76. The highly repetitive DNA sequences from a cluster up to 20 kb with 20 to 59 repeat units, so each containing 15 to 100 base pairs, and they are called as mini satellites. 77. Glycosyl transferases and glycosidases, they are predominantly found in which cell organelles? It is Golgi apparatus. Now 78. Which of the following transport processes is carried out by receptor mediated endocytosis? And the answer is option C. That is 1 and 3. Means cholesterol uptake is also there and virus entry into host cell is also there. 79. In mammals, during development from which cell population the embryo will form? So it is formed from inner cell mass or inner mass cell. 80. Light sensitive photoproteins which are responsive to red light, they are phytochromes. Now, a single gene can often have multiple effects on the phenotype of an organism, affecting a number of apparently unrelated traits, and this phenomenon is known as pleiotrophy. 82. The flip-flop movement of lipids in a biological membrane is studied using which spectroscopic technique? It is option D, that is NMR spectroscopy. 83. Which phase of microbial growth is characterized by synthesis of secondary metabolites and that may not be critical to the microbe's function? It is late stationary phase. As I are saying, secondary metabolites, it should be prepared later. Okay, late stationary phase. Now, what provision a typical bioreactor possesses to overcome the vortex formation during fermentation? So that vortex formation can be tackled using baffles on the side walls of the fermenter. Okay. Now 85. Normally SA node of the heart rather than AV node, it controls the heart rhythmicity because of what? It controls because of discharge rate of SA node is considerably faster than natural self-excitatory discharge rate of AV node. Now 86. Which of the following component of binds to protein and guides for its degradation is ubiquitin? 87. Which of the following type of RNA functions as components of RNA splicing machinery? It is SNRPs. It is small nuclear RNA. Along with proteins, it is to be said SNRPs, and which will carry out the RNA splicing. 88. Genes coding for which of the following do not form an integral component of the conserved genetic pathway that controls aging? And the answer is answer D. That is enzymes involved in cellular respiration. 89. In the absence of which element nitrogen metabolism is not possible? It is molybdenum. Okay, there are actually two, that is Fe, that is iron, and molybdenum, they are required for nitrogen metabolism. So, on handling Physalia, a representative of phylum Cnidaria, it stimulates nematocysts to release bioactive compound, and this compound is of nature of what? It is neurotoxin. Now 91. Which of the following is considered as a natural place of an organism or community? It is habitat. Now, which of the following, which form of DNA is most often formed as a result of deoxyguanosine deoxycytosine? That is poly DC or G or DC, and require fairly high salt concentration in vitro. That is Z form. Now, antibody engineering can be done by hybridoma technology. Prions, they have been reported to kill humans and cattle. To which kingdom do cyanobacteria belong? It is eubacteria. Now 96. What is the role of beta-mercaptoethanol and bromophenol blue used in separation of proteins by SDS Page? So it is reducing agent, and tracking dye. Now there are groups of alleles associated with lactosoperon and which are given as follows. So we'll have to choose the right option. So it should be 1, 2 and 4 only. That is, it is B. 98. Presence of oxygen can be detected using the following bioassay. It is tobacco pith culture and Avena curvature test. Now, which of the following is the earliest indication of first differentiation event in mammalian embryos? It is compaction. And select the description from column 2 that best fits the conidiospores given in the column 1. And the answer for this question is option C. That is 4, 3, 2, 1. If you see that for L, it is rectangular spore formed when septate hyphae fragments at the cross walls. Then if you see for M, it is budded from mouth of the sterigma, and for N, it is spherical cone formed by thickening of hyphal cells, and last, it is it should be like 2, 1. Okay, 2 and the 1. अशा प्रकारे हे आन्सर की आहे महाराष्ट्र सेट लाईफ सायन्सेस 2025ची पुणे विद्यापीठाची. तर यानंतर आपली जी नवीन बॅच आहे महाराष्ट्र सेट लाईफ सायन्सेस नेक्स्ट एक्झामसाठीची जी बॅच आहे ती 23 जुलै पासून स्टार्ट होणार आहे. ओके, थँक्यू फॉर वॉचिंग स्टुडंट्स.